so we can see just the playing.
We just got a bird's eye
we have
view
the
for
games.
9. We do.
So let's start with the first one. Hikaru Nakamura against Aryan Chopra.
And we just saw that Hikaru got dinged for a draw by Wesley So, but he was the one having to defend bishops of opposite color position.
And we French opening?
Sorry, which game am I on? I'm on Hikaru versus Aryan.
Oh, okay, so
And
the
I'm
camera
on-
is on different game. Oh, they're on Ray Robson against Luka. But
Okay.
let's go to the game of Hikaru against Aryan. Okay, then let's stay with the game Ray Robson against Luka.
No? Okay, we'll switch games because our cameraman refuses to budge.
We have the French.
We have a French. How did we get here? It's a strange looking French. Knight C, okay, it's the Gurgenitsa system with knight C6, E5, F6, F4, and normally speaking, you prefer the capture with the F pawn, but there's queen H4 check, picking up the pawn on D4, hence he captured with the D pawn, bishop C5, knight F3, knight A4. This bishop.
How are you getting that bishop? Because that bishop is undefended and it's controlling exactly this important diagonal.
Very, very critical diagonal. How else are we going to castle if we don't get rid of that bishop? Bishop B4 check.
Inviting C3 so that knight on A4 will have no place to go back to.
Exactly. But on the other hand, it is a tempo. So C2, C3, the bishop would likely retreat to E7. Then after bishop to D3, we finally would be all set to castle. And you're right about the knight. I'd probably want to repair the position of the knight by knight B3 and knight B2. Or, on a really, really good day, playing bishop to E3 and knight to C5.
So how do you feel about the castle now? No castle for Luka. Luka wants to play B6 first.
Okay, I feel like castles is absolutely a vital part of White's whole development scheme.
Maybe Black wants to long castle.
Yep.
Queen D7 and long castle.
And he's thinking that this bishop on B7 is lurking along that long diagonal. And again, this knight on A5 is not brilliant. I would be tempted to play B4, B5, kicking that knight away so I can secure a square for my...
But can Ray go now knight G5? No, instead knight D4. Still
Knight
targeting
G5.
that pawn on E6 and threatening queen H5 check. That is an important check.
Yeah, it's like this development is not completed. Queen check is a very annoying looking real choice. And by the way, the clock...
We may also first capture on E6. Well, Ray has 1 minute 1 second, Luka 1 minute 21 seconds. 20 seconds advantage. But, so there is a different line. Knight captures knight.
Knight takes D4.
And I first capture on E6.
Very good. I thought that was bad because if knight takes E6, but you're right. Queen takes F7 check.
So knight takes D4 on the board and first capture on E6. Yes, I think that's stronger because
much
of that
stronger.
variation you talked about. That
Absolutely.
queen capturing the knight on A4 and then on D4 with a check.
Now, unfortunately, queen takes a4 check was going to lose to queen takes f7. So Luka had to recapture on e6, and while the material is even, I would say that white vastly improved his position. He's now got a protected pass pawn on
Now,
e5.
we need to looking at bishop a6 in the future if you decide to long castle. Short castle.
I don't think it was safe. The water was not safe on the queen side. Much safer on the king side. And by the way, bishop e3, c5, Luka is saying, I've got to undermine the power of this pawn on e5. And he managed to trade it off. Now, nothing terrible happens. Luka
Bishop b4, that's a strong move. I'm pinning the knight, not allowing you to move back.
I think something terrible happened, though. That move was overlooked. I think Luka just didn't realize how powerful the move bishop e, because you're going to go rook takes f6. You get two pieces for the rook. Queen takes e5 forces the trade of queens, and bishop takes e5 is just a nice tempo.
The pair of bishops is going to be just incredible here.
Yeah, I think this is actually game over. Bishop c6 makes things a little tricky. Maybe he should have played bishop takes e5, by the way.
We have bishop d6 though. I'm attacking the rook and attacking the pawn.
Good point. Yeah, you're winning the pawn back. Time or clock time?
Both players, 26 seconds.
And if Ray is allowed bishop d4, he dominates. So you have to play d4 and hope after rook d8 you've got a trick.
Intermediate check.
There's no tricks. Rook f8, rook f1 check, sorry.
Bishop f6 now.
Yes.
And they just resigned.
And a quick handshake there. Congratulations to Ray.
Strong
I'm going to go to Hikaru and Aryan Chopra. These two are fighting for first place